Good afternoon from the KUOW newsroom. This is Seattle Now. I'm Patricia Murphy with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Thursday, August 21st. The University of Washington's Center for Human Rights is warning that federal immigration action has crossed a new boundary, breaking international humanitarian law. Gustavo Segrero has more.
The report zeroes in on 16 cases where people have been arrested by federal agents and held for extended periods of time without access to a lawyer. There's a legal term for it called an enforced disappearance.
What I'm talking about is cases where days, even weeks go by that families still don't know where their loved one is.
That's researcher Angelina Godoy. She says all of these cases have connections to Washington state. Some were residents here. Others were deported from Tacoma's ICE detention center. Most are cases of people deported to third countries, some to a prison in El Salvador in violation of a federal court order.
The level of secrecy is what's different in these cases.
While the federal government manages immigration enforcement, Godoy adds local governments managing public airports and prisons also play a role in alleged enforced disappearances. Gustavo Segrero, KUOW News.
Hot and dry conditions are coming to the Puget Sound region. A heat advisory is in effect beginning tomorrow at 11 through Tuesday morning. On Friday, Seattle's predicted high will be 84. Temperatures could rise to the upper 80s Saturday and Sunday. It's been a year since Ruth Dalton, an 80-year-old professional dog walker, was killed during a carjacking in Seattle's Madison Valley neighborhood. As Noelle Gasca reports, Dalton's friends and family have a new spot to remember her.
One of Ruth Dalton's favorite spots on her dog walking route was Madison Park Beach. Dalton's family and former clients gathered there yesterday. They were there to celebrate the unveiling of 2 new benches dedicated to Dalton and her dog Prince, who was also killed in the attack. Dalton's granddaughter, Melanie Roberts, spoke at the ceremony.
Think of my grandma. Think of Prince. Think of how we can support each other and love each other and be like Ruth. Think of all of those things when you come here to visit.
Robert says she wasn't sure what message to put on the plaque beneath the benches, until one day at work, she walked outside, felt the sun hit her face, and heard her grandma's voice, echoing the commands she'd give to the dogs she so adored. Come, sit, stay. Noelle Gasca, KUOW News.
Turning to housing news, the median sales price for a newly built house or townhome in King County is hovering around $1 million. That's just not affordable for most young families. Joshua McNichols has more.
Matthew Gardner is a real estate economist based in Seattle. He says the biggest reason home prices are so high is lack of supply. But there's another reason, too.
Over the course of the last several months, what's become very obvious is that tariffs are already having an impact. And they are being passed through from the builder to the home buyer. And that just makes housing even less affordable.
Gardner says Washington state's middle housing law, which encourages more housing production, is trickling down into city planning documents across the state. He says that'll help, but it won't make up for the overwhelming scarcity of homes or the high material costs. Joshua McNichols, KUOW News.
Hear more about why home prices are high and what could bring them down on the latest episode of Booming. You can find it on the KUOW app or wherever you get your podcasts. The chemical company Monsanto says it's settled a legal dispute with more than 200 people who were exposed to toxic chemicals at a Monroe school for years. Staff, students, and their families say they became sick after they were exposed to PCBs at Sky Valley Education Center. Details of the settlement are confidential, according to the Seattle Times. Monsanto is still litigating 9 other cases regarding the exposure at the school. Community leaders in Pierce County are coming together to envision what youth justice could look like in the future. County Executive Ryan Mello launched a task force that will help develop a plan for a new youth justice facility that will be equipped to better serve its residents. The project is aimed at replacing the decades-old Reman Hall. Bonica Burnett is a member of the Pierce County Juvenile Court Family Council. Her son was previously held at Reman Hall. She wants the future detention center to be less like a prison and more therapeutic.
We can't look at it as a place of punishment. We have to look at it as a place of healing, a place where families and children have access to resources.
According to initial estimates, replacing Riemann Hall could cost around $200 million. The task force is expected to take the next 6 months to develop its proposals, then make its recommendations to the Pierce County Council. Next time on Seattle Now, it's Casual Friday. We'll talk about some recent incidents of bad behavior in the Seattle area, including a Shakespeare in the Park stagehand who was on the receiving end of bear spray.
What you do about bear spray?
Okay, Jeff, I'm glad you went there. Because I have to tell you,
how long it was going to take.
I have to tell you, as an old newspaper person with some tabloid tendencies, the first thing that I do when I see a story like this is I start workshopping headlines.
And that's all for today from the KUOW newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Patricia Murphy. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you soon.